Good day, everyone. I'm sure we all have a lot in common. Let's check it out. Ready? Please raise your hand if you have children or getting ready to become a parent. Who can be proud of having a hand-planted tree? Well done. Who takes care of his body and lives a healthy lifestyle? Wonderful audience. I'm sure you will find it close to your hearts what I'm going to share with you. Since early ages, people inhabiting our planet had a very special, delicate relationship with it. At all times and on all continents, they softly call it the Mother Earth. A maternal feeling is the most sacred one. Such a reverent attitude of the Slavic people towards Earth has been preserved in famous folk proverbs and sayings. In our time, the most relevant folk wisdom regarding the land is the following. The land is a plate. What you put in it, you'll take out. All are aware of global warming and of the consequences that it carries for all living things and humans. The specialists name various factors contributing to this heating. I'll name you one which no one is talking about yet, but it's the most important one. Look at this picture. You see a sick person. When the virus enters the human body, it gets a fever. The body temperature rises. Exactly the same living organism is our planet, only in a larger size, living according to the same natural laws as the human body. The virus that is causing direct heating of the near-Earth space is the waste which we are carefully dumping into the soil. There are foreign bodies like ulcers which fill our entire globe. In the process of decay, all toxic materials and substances enter the soil and groundwater. The gas that is formed, then released during decomposing organic waste, destroys all the vegetation on the surface, contributes to formation of the greenhouse effect. This is how the next landfill is being constructed. The short-sighted human thought came up with a temporary solution to the garbage problems, never considering the strength and power of nature. It clearly shows that even a tiny flower is able to break through the concrete. Now, some of you might think, oh, now it's all again about recycling the waste, about reusable coffee cups, etc. But it's not about that. I'm going to dispel two illusions that exist in modern society. First is recycling waste. It is not a solution. And now I'm going to prove it. A non-stop recycling process exists only in nature. All living things that have served their lives provide nutrition and a start of a new life, continuing the life of the entire planet as a whole. Artificially created by man, materials have an end point of their existence. Each time they have been recycled, they get a new form, using more natural resources until they become useless when nothing more can be done with them. So one day they become non-recyclable. For example, out of plastic bag we can get shampoo packaging, from which later sewer pipes. Later we can get a soft playground coating. That is everything. Eventually, our original plastic bag becomes a dense material that is unusable as it wears out and is sent to the landfill, if not been sent there earlier during all these intermediate stages. Each time it has longer period of complete decomposition. Let's think. Is there any difference for the Earth whether it takes a plastic bag today, a broken sewer pipe 20 years later, or a piece of useless coating 50 years later? The second illusion. It is actually a recycling process itself. You might have seen similar posters and pictures. I'm sure many of you collect batteries and use power-saving lamps, helping out the planet to survive. Is there any who have actually seen and knows how recycling of these dangerously containing items occurs when they are no more in use? Where do all the poisons go? They don't disappear from the earth without a trace as they do in a magic fairy tale. Is there any way out? Of course, it's always there. Let's just think, what precedes the appearance of any event or material thing? For example, like this remote on my hand or chair you're sitting on. It is the thought of its creator. The planet and all life beings also have their own creator. His thought has turned out to be much more far-sighted and stronger than the thought of the modern man. As we see, there are no landfills in nature. There weren't any dumps 1,000 years ago or even 100. The landfills have become a property of already modern technological revolution. The worldwide practice of handling the overfilled dumps is so-called a reclamation of them. In other words, the heap of garbage has been carefully compacted into the ground, sprinkled with a layer of soil over it, planted with grass, the gas released from the body of landfill collected through the pipes. That's all. Only one country on the whole world has fully resorted their landfills, so that it's got crystal clean drinking water in its natural springs. Who knows which country is this? It is Switzerland, the country we all should take an example from. But how to take into account the Swiss experience and all said above about recycling, which is not a solution? There is only one way: to return to a clean lifestyle. A model of soft, gradual transition to such a lifestyle has already been created. For more than 20 years, the idea of creating clean domains have been actively developing throughout the world. People return from cities to the land, creating their own small flowering homelands, where every family has the opportunity on a piece of land about 1 or 2 hectares to plant a garden, a forest, dig a pond, build a cozy house, grow their own fruits and vegetables, give birth, and raise healthy children. These ideas were first voiced 20 years ago in the books of Vladimir Maigret and have spread all over the world. Books are translated into more than 20 languages. About 400 similar settlements of clean domains have already been created. There are about 20 in Ukraine. Our family lives in one of them near Kyiv for over 15 years. Just look how a simple change in the usual way of life naturally reduces the amount of waste. When families feed on their own hand-grown fruits, there is no need for packaging, containers, storage and delivery for further utilization. The fruits are the most useful and healthy to the human body within the first few hours from the moment they are picked from the bush or tree. In that time, they bring the greatest benefit to the human body. All of that can be given by your garden in abundance. The transition into vegetarian, eating fresh fruits and vegetables, frees up huge and completely inhuman industry of animal farming. It also releases the land from enormous amount of pollution and suffering that this production brings with it. The conscious life on Earth is changing lots of everyday habits. When 16 years ago I heard about this idea, we lived with my husband and 2 children in the city. With all my heart and soul, I wanted to create such a small homeland, a blossoming paradise for my family, where children would be able to breathe fresh air, drink clean water from the well, and eat fresh fruits, where they would know every tree and bush because we would plant them together. All of this has already happened with its ups and downs. I was dreaming that we would be surrounded by like-minded neighbors who would share the same views on a healthy lifestyle, on home birth, natural gardening, nutrition, and raising children. Our settlement was created based on the opportunity that the state provides up to 2 hectares of land for free to everyone who is willing to cultivate it. It is still developing with our own hands. It might seem unbelievable, but between these 2 photos, 13 years of our life. On the first one, you see my older children planting a green fence around our future clean domain, literally in the bare field. On this photo, you see the younger sister holds a seedling of a silver poplar which has grown over the years into a mighty giant. It has become a climbing tree for our fourth child conceived and born in a homestead. The bare field of settlement has turned out into a beautiful forest, like a living painting with all the homestead's unique landscapes in it. The strongest feelings and emotions I have ever experienced on my land was the home birth of my two youngest daughters. On these photos, you see the beech grove, which I was planting being pregnant with my third baby. While she was still in the belly, I was often talking to her how deeply we loved her, how we were excited creating the beautiful space for her, how she was going to grow up together with the planted trees. Now, our teenage daughter enjoys lying in the summer in a hammock, creating under the trees. The beech grove has become the most favorite place for family photo shoots. If one would ask me, where do you have the sweetest dreams? I would answer with delight, on the breast of Mother Earth. You see our summer bedroom, where we with children really enjoy sleeping under the stars. It is absolutely an incredible feeling belonging to the endless cosmic space, where the walls of your bedroom are the trees grown by you, and the roof is enormous, shimmering, beautiful night sky, where the air is filled with aromas of evening herbs and cicadas, and frogs sing the most pleasant songs to your ear. In the morning you meet the dawn, plunge into a pond, walk around your property, eat berries from the bush along the way. You observe how everything is slowly awakening. Walk to the well apiary of my beloved husband and watch the bees waking up. Then you bring all the grace and joy collected from the surrounding to your family, to your new day, to those people you meet on your way. Your heart is jumping from joy and happiness. You scream, "What a blessing it is to live on our planet! What a wonderful world!" When such simple actions as meeting the dawn, sleeping under the stars, cleansing the body, eating fresh fruits become a habit, one day you will feel a different perception of the world, how the borders of your home are expanding. Once, at one of the dawns I was meeting, I clearly felt that everything surrounded me at that moment. The rising sun, soaring clouds, and birds in the sky, everything flying, crawling on the whole earth was also my home, my family, and I'm responsible for everything that happens on it. I'm responsible for the waste which is still produced by my family and carried out of our property. It is extremely important for me to know its final point, where it will go, because this is also my home. My responsibility does not end with the nearest bin or recycling station. Yes, our life on land has significantly reduced the amount of waste, since all the organics go to compost, cardboards for mulching trees, and everything that burns goes into our pyrolysis boiler for heating the house. However, there is a lot of future waste that comes into our house. What is the garbage at its core? It is the garbage of our thoughts, our deep-rooted habits. For example, if a person gets used to getting food from the shop, he goes and buys it with the packaging and possible effects on his body. If he wants to get high-quality products, such as hand-grown fruits, he would plant a garden and reset his food routine, would learn local fruits and herbs. During the transition period, he would be able to buy food by local organic farmers. The same as any strategy or planning, it is essential to set a goal to return to a healthy lifestyle, to the way of original purity. So now I'm here, in front of you, to talk about the importance of expanding the boundaries of our home, about the urgent need to change the general way of life, about the general cleaning up. Cleanliness begins with purity of thoughts, the purity of speech, and the change of one's habits. It does not matter where the person is at the moment, whether he lives on the land or in the city, work on oneself is enough for everyone, and I'm no exception. Each person has a huge potential. Uniting, the collective thought is able to return the earth to its former purity and to its families the happiness, love, and gratitude of ancestors. I propose to add to the global goals of sustainable development adopted by United Nations the goal number 1, the most important for today. This is to complete cleansing of the earth from landfills and the return of a healthy lifestyle. Together, we will reach this goal as long as it takes 50, 100, 300 years. Essential is to keep going. Someone might think, for what 100, 300 years I'm talking about, as we won't see the result. However, let us recall that such a concept of reincarnation was cancelled by Church in the 6th century, however ridiculous it may sound now from the perspective of our time. The experience of those people who remember their previous lives clearly shows that each next time the soul can be born in a complete new point on a planet. That means we have to make it clean everywhere. Let the earth one day turn into such a picture of blooming kindermains where conscious, strong, loving families will live. Our dreams have a capacity to come true, especially if these are bright and strong. This is how our homestead and our settlement has been fulfilled. This is how it looks from the air. It is our home. I want our earth to be such a home for all. What can you do right now? Relax. Relax, and on any opportunity, go outside. Look at the sky. Greet all living things that you hear, see, and feel at the moment. In the evening, go out under the stars and dream. Dream about the most important and something the most precious and dear to you and your family. Dream about happy future life. May the wish of our beautiful, clean, healthy, and fragrant planet be a man of your dreams, like a paradise for all. May your dreams come true soon. Thank you for your attention.